Okay. Yep. Says it's being live streamed. Okay.
We're all set, Brian.
All right. Well, then we'll get started. We'll, as Rebecca said, we would want to wish everyone a happy new year and looking forward to 2022. It's hard to believe that it's already 2022. Seems like yesterday we were worried about 2000 and everything crashing. But so I want to welcome everyone here this evening and really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us in our PAC 2 meeting. My name is Brian Galloway. I'm one of the co-facilitators, and I'll facilitate here with Rebecca. And what I will be doing is turning it over to Rebecca, and she's going to take us through our agenda this evening. And again, thank everyone for joining us. Rebecca?
Thanks, Brian. And I just have to say it again, Happy New Year's to everyone. We just really enjoy keeping PAC 2 informed about what's going on. We are going to be just doing our departmental presentations this evening. And as everyone knows, Captain Robert Gaddy is District 2 Commander. And we also have Lieutenant Cloninger that comes in. And I'm just wondering for the Police District 2, who is stepping forward.
Hey.
Oh, Lieutenant Cloninger? Perfect. Yep. Thank you so much, sir. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you so much. And yeah, to echo what Brian said, Happy New Year to everyone and good evening. I'll try to go briefly with this. I do want to give you guys an update, not only of our December numbers, but overview of the year to date of 2021. So we'll jump right in. With that in mind, homicides, we had 0 in December. We ended 2021 with 6 criminal homicides. Our robberies, unfortunately, they increased pretty significantly in December, and that was up from only 9 in November. We ended the year with 151 robberies in our. For aggravated assaults in December, and you remember these are counted in incidents in both terms of the number of incidents and victims. So in December, for example, we had 15 incidents with 20 victims. November is pretty comparable. We had 16 incidents with 19 victims. So for the year, we had 217 aggravated assaults with 188 victims. Our burglaries, those increased slightly in December. We had 44, and that was up from 36 in November. For the year, we had 434 burglaries. And our biggest category, and it's always this way, is larcenies, and those did increase significantly in December. We had 203 larcenies reported in December. That's compared to 174 back in November. Of our 203 in December, 83 of those, so that's roughly 41%, were car break-ins, larcenies from motor vehicles. 75% of those cases, the cars were left unlocked, and that's a percentage that's just consistent. The majority of these car break-ins are from unlocked vehicles with valuables left in plain view. So for the year, we ended with 2,202 total larcenies, and about 47% of those, 1,034, were the car break-ins I just mentioned. And again, mostly unlocked vehicles. For the month, we did conduct, along with the other units within the district, or I'm sorry, within the department rather, looks like 2,283 directed patrols. We're continuing to focus going into January on our panhandling and trespassing issues. Again, those are pretty much district-wide. We focus mostly on Hillsborough Road, Guest Road, North Point Drive. And we're working with our CIT unit on some of those things. We also are still focused a little bit on our package delivery thefts. This is a continuation from our holiday initiative that ran over the last 2 months. We're still seeing some larcenies of items being put on the porches and people rolling by and taking those. So we're still focused on that for a little while more. And I'll put it in the chat, but if you guys have any specific quality of life concerns, or if anybody shares some with you and you want us to focus on it, by all means, email myself or the captain. And again, I'll put that in the chat and we will take care of it. That's all I've got. Any questions?
Well, thank you, Lieutenant. If anyone does have questions, please put them in the chat so we can direct them specifically to Lieutenant Cloninger, and that would be great. And we appreciate District 2's report. And we're just really pleased that we have the Sheriff's Department. We have Captain Keith Webster, and he's our patrol commander. And so we always, and then we also have Captain Morel Whitaker, who is part of the Sheriff's Department. So we're just always so pleased to have the Sheriff's report. So the floor is yours.
All right. Good evening, everyone, and Happy New Year. I hope everyone had a prosperous and safe holiday. I have a very brief report tonight. I'll start off with the patrol division's number for calls of service. They responded to 2,261 calls for service. Our residential break-ins outside of Durham city limits, it dropped with only 13 break-ins reported in December, and there were 25 break-ins to motor vehicles, which is 50% lower than the previous month. Number of residential break-ins within the county are usually doubled or pretty much tripled during the holiday season. But unlike Durham PD's report, our numbers dropped significantly during the holiday season, for the especially for the past couple of years. And I think it's because due to our current situation with the pandemic, and less people are going to work. And for those who are going to work, a lot of them are working from home. So it gives suspects less opportunities to commit these crimes. As far as firearms, we seized 24 firearms in December, which puts us at a total of 209 guns seized in the year of 2021. 3 stolen firearms were recovered last month, and a total of 32 stolen guns were recovered last year total. We had 31 aggravated assault charges last month, and had a total of 320 assault charges for the year. We had 53 traffic accidents investigated, and 27 of those were property damage, and 26 of those resulted in injuries. We had 506 directed patrols last month, and 405 of those were property directed patrols, and 101 of those were traffic related. Let's see. A total of 313 traffic stops were conducted last month. And our scope division participated in 28 community-oriented events. That's pretty much it for the sheriff's report. If you have any questions, let me know. Also, I will leave my information in the chat.
Thank you, Captain Whitaker. We appreciate that. And we all just really appreciate the Sheriff's Department's information. But I just want to remind everyone, if you know someone, bring them into PAC 2s, because we are providing our residents with a lot of great information. And I think an informed public can be safer, because that we have our police and sheriff's department out here, just doing everything to assist us. And we really do appreciate them out here in PAC 2. But thank you for the report. And once again, if you have information or questions, please put it in the chat so we can direct it to the sheriff's department before the end of the meeting, or you can, try to get with them later if you have some specific questions. forum. Let's continue on with our departmental presentation. Parks and Recreation, and we have Colleen Toomey, and so we just really appreciate everything she brings to PAC 2. Thank you for being here, Colleen, and we just really appreciate you.
Well, good evening, everybody. Happy New Year. And I don't have a ton of information for updates right now. This tends to be Parks and Recreation slow time of the year here with unpredictable weather, although we were blessed with 70-degree plus weather for our holiday parade. And for those who came out to the parade, thank you for participating and supporting our event. It went really well. We had a little bit of spitting rain that day, but overall, it certainly wasn't as cold as it had been the last couple of years we hosted the parade. So we had some bands, we had 6 bands, we had floats, we had some car groups, we had other organizations represented, and over 100 entries in our parade. So it was really nice to see everybody out for that event. And considering crazy COVID, at least it was an outside event that we could all participate in. Just programs are up and running, centers are still open. We are still continuing our COVID safety plans to provide the fitness programs out there and the preschool programs, school age care. The swimming pools are open for lap swims. So please can look at our website if you want more specifics for a certain center. But Edison Johnson Recreation and Aquatic Center does fall in the PAC 2 district area here. So anybody else has any questions, happy to answer them either now or later on.
Thank you, Colleen. We really appreciate that. Well, let's continue on. We have our health department. Is there a representative from the health department here that would like to speak? Oh, yes.
Hi, everybody.
Hello. And your name again? I'm sorry.
Aaliyah.
Aaliyah Brown. Are you going to be coming back recurring to help? So I'm going to put your name down because we had Yvonne Reza.
Yep. So I'm taking over for her.
Okay, perfect. So that's, I got you. Well, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I did have a few slides, but I don't have to share them because I want to make sure that with my COVID update, everything has been so confusing and I definitely understand. So I want to make this as quick to the point and easily understood as possible. Again, my name is Aaliyah Brown and I am a health education specialist for Durham County Department of Public Health. And I can share my contact information in the chat. But some of the major highlights from us this week is that the CDC has updated COVID-19 isolation and quarantine recommendations. It is now shorter for now for those who are asymptomatic and mildly ill. So those not so much with the fever. So they have shortened that isolation time from 10 days to 5 days. So I do want you all to be updated on that. Of course, as things change, we'll always keep you all updated, but that is the recommendation as of for now. And as rates are going up for now, I wanted to check in with everybody for those who may be having some symptoms. If you're unsure of your next steps, as far as if you're unsure if you need to go see a doctor or anything like that, the CDC does have a self-checker. And I'm putting that in the chat. You can go through that and it's a questionnaire. It's really easy. I went through it myself. And so they'll give you recommendations based upon the information you put in, whether or not you should either see a doctor or isolate some additional days and all types of good advice, because I know even with telehealth, it is so hard to get a clear answer from providers on what you should do. So I have put that in the chat for you all. Of course, even if you have had COVID before, you still have to mask, still socially distance. We still recommend vaccinations. And for community members who are taking care of loved ones who are sick, limit your contact with them. Make sure you have good airflow coming into your homes. Maybe invest in an air purifier, because the ventilation does help remove some of those droplets from the air. And so, you want to keep that viral load down as much as possible. Washing your hands and dishes with hot water, make sure you glove it up. Also disinfect some of those high touch areas that in your home, and just make sure you're using the products with the appropriate surfaces. And of course, self-monitor on yourself. So make sure you're doing good, checking yourself if you're having some symptoms, and quarantine appropriately. And as of today, the health department has expanded their COVID-19 vaccine eligibility to offer booster doses of Pfizer for everyone 12 to 15. So I know that age group was a little iffy before, but that has been expanded to that group, as well as some third doses for ages 5 to 11 for those who are immunocompromised. We're still having our COVID testing. If you have questions about that, please let me know. I know testing has been an iffy thing, especially with getting those rapid tests. However, El Centro Hispano is still offering drive-through testing. And of course, if you have any questions about any of this information, we send out updates, sometimes even twice a week, but definitely weekly on any new COVID updates. And to join that email listing, I put a link in the chat, so you get it as soon as we get the information. So I would definitely encourage you to join that. And if there's any questions, please reach out to me, or you can even ask me some in the chat. I'll be busy answering those if you have any questions.
Well, thank you, Aaliyah. We really appreciate that information, because we're still in this tenuous time of variants. And so we want to make sure residents are up to date on everything. But once again, I want to remind people, there's so much really wonderful information. Let your neighbors know. We're going to start reaching out to more folks in the PAC 2 area, because we think that this is really good information to make sure that people just, know what's going on, So we really appreciate it. And going forward, if there's anybody that has questions about, what they would like to ask about that, any questions for the health department or any of them, our departments, please let us know, put in the chat. We'll get back with you on maybe having additional information on that. But thank you, Aaliyah. We appreciate that. And we'll see you next month. Yes.
Rebecca, we got one more question. There was a question in the chat for Aaliyah.
Okay, perfect.
Is there any evidence that Omicron is transmitted on surfaces which the original virus seemed not to do?
So far, we don't have much evidence. It's still fairly new here about how easily it is transferred on surface, but we do know it is more contagious than the Delta and the original virus combined. So we want to take extra precautions as much as possible. I know we're having COVID fatigue. I just know it. But if we could just try to be a little bit more hypervigilant with some of our practices that we may have kind of laxed on, getting back to hand washing, sanitizing, things like that.
All right, well, we'll just keep getting those questions answered as they come along. And then we have the NIS representative, Miles Spann, who just spoke. He's our community engagement strategist. He's been very instrumental in letting us know so much about what's going on in our communities. And we just, happy to have, him working with PAC 2. So Miles, what's going on with NIS that you can share with the residents out here in PAC 2?
Oh, well, thank you so much. I'm always happy to speak to everybody at PAC 2. So everybody knows, just once again, since it is a new year, I am the community engagement strategist for PAC 2, all of North Durham. So I am looking for groups, community groups and organizations to partnership to try to bring improvements to your neighborhood. So with that, please feel free to reach out to me whenever it is possible. I will definitely put my contact information in the chat so you guys can send me an email. And the most important one that we have right now is that we've started up a new session of neighborhood matching grants, meaning that, hey, if you have a neighborhood and you're working and there's something that you want to do for the betterment of your neighborhood and you might could use a little bit of extra money, we have what we call neighborhood matching grants, where you can either put up actual physical hours of time work and those type of requirements, and we will match that with dollars so that you'll be able to support or throw an event that you may be trying to throw, or a project. In the past, we've done everything from community cleanups, block parties, to buying masks, hand sanitizer, and other things for neighborhoods. So if you need that, please, you can reach out to me, but also you could check on our website, durhamcommunityengagement.org. Also, moving beyond that, just giving some brief updates about what's happening in the city right now. On January 12th, the planning department has their Engage Durham comprehensive plan meeting, but this one is for West Durham. So I know it's not us in North Durham, but if you could reach out to anybody who lives in West Durham, the meeting is virtual on January 12th. I can drop the link in the chat once I finish. On January 17th, that is the observed MLK Day. So the city will be closed. I will not answer any emails. So sorry, so sorry. You can catch me on the 18th. And then on the 18th, we actually have a city council meeting at 7 p.m. every first and third of the month. We will have city council meetings. So that way you can go out, meet the new council, and help vote and speak on issues that matter. And then finally, speaking about PAC 2 in particular, we have a listserv through Google Groups. If we found out that not everybody's checking their emails, so if you can, please check your spam and see if you see anything that says PAC 2 and save it from the clutches of your delete box. But with that, that is all my stuff for today. I am thankful for everybody who showed up. I appreciate you all. And if you have any more questions, please feel free to reach out to me.
Thank you, Miles. Oh yeah, we're getting ready to do a big community push to bring more residents into PAC 2.
Yeah.
I mean, because this is probably one of the most important hours of news information on what's going on in your specific area in a month, an hour a month. So let's reach out to our citizens, but we're going to also start getting out there and letting people know how they can link up with PAC 2, because going forward with, everything is going to be virtual, at least going forward. And we want to continue to let everybody know what's going on. So we appreciate you, Miles, with all the information you have too. We do not have a guest. And so I'm that kind of person. We're just going to, we had a wonderful departmental presentations. And sometimes, our PACs they run shorter, but then sometimes they run longer, but we're all here trying to make sure that we stay safe and we know what's going on in North Durham. So I think Aaliyah answered a question about herd immunity in the chat. I saw that. Let me see. Can you repost the PAC 2 listserv group URL?
I'll look try to post it in a couple moments.
Okay, so it's going to be posted in a couple of moments. So we're going to, because this is what we need to continue to let, take that down so that you can, at least everyone's, if you're not familiar with that listserv, take that information down so you can at least pass it to one person that you might feel that wants to know more about what's going on in PAC 2. So let's try to make that happen. At least a couple of us, we're just going to continue to let everybody know. But I really appreciate everybody, you know, sticking on the Zoom and work and joining in. All of us in PAC 2, the whole staff. So I'm going to finish that and I'm going to turn it over to Brian so he can close it out.
Yeah. Thank you, Rebecca. And as she said, we really appreciate you taking the time to come to our meetings. I just noticed Miles did put some information in the chat. So if you could pick that information up in just a few minutes, you can do that. You can just copy that and paste it into a document.
Yes.
Before we end the call. Are there any final questions for any one of our presenters this evening?
Yeah, I posted a question to Officer Cloninger.
Okay.
And the question is about, because in this district, although they didn't get killed in this district, there were 2 young men over the weekend that got killed. And I was just wondering if, you know, if the department has heard anything about who did it, you know, because you hear all these people talking about, you know, it was a lot of young people at this particular area, and you just hear things all over everywhere, and just wondering if you've heard anything.
Hey, I appreciate the question. I was just looking it up now. I don't have any specific information about those. You know, typically, no matter where it occurs in the city, our investigators and mostly our homicide unit is all centralized at headquarters. And so, you know, they do a really good job of sharing the information out with us when they have something, and media releases as well. But, you know, so far I haven't heard anything about those particular ones, but I can certainly look it up and see what we can find out.
Okay, very good question. Anyone else have a question before we call it an evening?
Good afternoon. I don't have a question. This is Constance Stancil. I just want to let people know that on January 18th from 5:30 to 7, we're going to be having a racial healing session. And we're going to send that information out to you. Miles will make sure that everyone gets it. We're going to be having a conversation around cultural and community healing and what we need to do. What do we need to do to cure, you know, the things that are going on in the city of Durham. And we're especially going to be focusing on the youth in our community. What's happening with our youth and how can we help the youth become more productive citizens and those kinds of things. And especially when we hear about the killings and all those kinds of things, we're losing too many of our youth. So that's going to be the first conversation. We're going to have 2, but then after the second conversation, we're going to move to action plans. What can we do in the community? What can the PACs help us do in the community? What can other neighborhood organizations do? Because the police can't do it all. Everybody has to be in this together, and that's what we want to do. It's going to be the Human Relations Commission is going to be leading it, but Neighborhood Improvement Services will be supporting them. And we want to make sure that all of you get the information so you can be a part of the, not only the conversation, but part of the cure to heal our city as it relates to violent crime and things like that. So thank you for allowing me to just jump right in there.
Oh, great.
Thank you. I want to say one quick thing. Thank you, Ms. Stancil, for joining. We really, really appreciate your insights. I apologize, Brian, but I just want to ask Ms. Stancil, is that going to be on Zoom? You're sending that out because somebody asked in the chat.
Right.
Yes, it's going to be on Zoom and Facebook.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay. I'm sorry, Brian.
No, I was gonna ask the same question. Was it a in-person or Zoom meeting? So, okay, good. Any other question? I did see in the chat about the possibility PAC 3 did get the district attorney to attend and do a presentation at their meeting. So the PAC2, our leadership team, we meet once a month, and we'll definitely bring that up as an opportunity as a presenter. So I can't remember who sent that in. Michael, yeah, thank you so much. That's a great idea as a presenter. Any other questions or suggestions? Yes, Colleen.
I see Dan Singer. Are you part of the Northgate, like the new construction at Northgate, the old Northgate Mall? And if so, do you have an update for us on that area?
No, I am not. I am not here in any official capacity.
Oh, okay. I just saw the Northgate part. I didn't see the rest of it. Okay, so we've got that, and somebody had asked me about water exercise. So just for the benefit of all, water exercise is back at Campus Hills at noontime on Wednesdays, and then at 6 o'clock on Wednesday nights at Edison Johnson. And we are slowly trying to offer some more times for our water exercise and continuing to try and do that. That's as best we can with the staffing and time available to offer it. So right now, Wednesday at noon at campus and 6 o'clock at Edison Johnson. And I'm actually teaching at Wednesday night at Edison Johnson. So come and visit me there.
All right. Thank you very much. All right, everyone. Thank you again. Some good information that came up after the call. Some good questions. Thank you for participating. These type of meetings are very helpful and very important in getting information out, and your participation in asking these good questions is what makes it a good opportunity for people to get information and to get their questions answered. So thank you for participating.
Thank you very much for organizing. It's very much appreciated.
Yeah, thank you. All right, with that, I will wish you a good evening and a great week, and we will see you in February. Thank you, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.
Good night.
Turn off this.